Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be mindful of your thoughts. Well, it's important to think about what's actually going on in your mind when you're calling a girl for a date, when you're talking to her, when you are actually on a date with her. You want to think about the things you say, especially when it comes to limiting beliefs or limiting thoughts. The little devil on your shoulder that says, it won't work out. She doesn't like you. It's never going to go the way you want it to. That kind of thing. You've got to learn to drown that stuff out, because you have to be aware also, because a woman is constantly testing you. And sometimes a woman will say something that is the exact opposite of what she really wants, just because it's in the interest of playfulness, and she's hoping that you will figure it out. And I've got an email here from a guy who basically he's been, I've done a couple emails with him that he's written in. He's over in Europe, and basically he's carrying on an affair with one of his coworkers. And the email, I think the last one was a couple weeks ago, basically the boyfriend, because this woman actually that he's having the affair with also lives with her boyfriend. And so a couple weeks ago, the boyfriend, obviously, he's put two and two together, and he knows that she's cheating on him. And he just basically said, I just want you to be happy. And so obviously she's still hanging out and talking to this guy who's written me. But basically they met up the other night, and they did everything but sleep together. And because she basically threw something out there that caused him to think that, oh, wow, she doesn't want to have sex tonight. And the correct way to always respond to that stuff as a man is always to think from the end. What do you want to happen? Obviously, what happens every time you go out with women that you really like and who like you? Well, if a guy knows what he's doing, it always ends up in bed later. And obviously, the more you date a woman, the more she's going to want more of your attention and your presence. And plus, she's going to change things up a little bit. When she calls, she'll throw something at you that, maybe she'll try to change the plans, or she'll say something that's just that comes out of left field that surprises you. And if you're not aware of what's going on, and if you're not thinking from the end, if you take upon, if she says, well, we're going to get together tonight, but we're not having sex, when she says something like that, it means we're getting together tonight, and I'm hoping that we'll have sex. That's basically what she's saying. But a regular guy that just hears that, doesn't know any better, he thinks, I guess she doesn't want to have sex tonight. And so he starts thinking about that, and so he starts holding back. And so what happens is, since he's holding back, she can feel it, and he seems a little weak in his purpose, or a little impotent, so to speak, in his approach, how he's going about seducing her. And so if he comes off as being weak, and she's throwing out there that, hey, we're not having sex tonight, in other words, if you end up having sex, then she can blame it on you, because she was the one that said, hey, we're not having sex tonight. So if you actually do have sex, then it's your fault. So he writes in and says, hey, Corey, it's me again. I'm the office affair guy. Well, quick update. I was at work yesterday, Saturday, I know. I hadn't communicated with her since Tuesday. So around 5 p.m., she instant messages me out of the blue, asking me a couple of questions. Translation, I'm horny and I want to see you, and I'm hoping you will create a fun-filled romantic opportunity for sex to happen like you always do. That's the real reason she got in touch with you. Then she asked me, do you want to meet up for drinks tonight? Without craziness, of course. Craziness is our little secret word for going back to my place, obviously, and having sex. And so when she says without craziness, what she really means is with craziness, meaning maybe she's feeling a little guilty about the whole thing. And so as a way to deflect the guilt and not feel so bad, she throws that out there in the beginning of the inning, because she knows it's always going to end up at your place later having sex, because that's always what happens. And so, what he does, though, is he gets a little confused here and starts thinking, oh, wow, we're not having sex. And so he's running this through his mind the whole evening, and it basically becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. He says, if you recall, we had a rough patch since her boyfriend found out about us, and she became distant. In our last get-together, last Monday, she also mentioned she didn't want to go turn up super late at her place. She lives about an hour away from me using public transportation. So to her advances, I replied, without craziness, of course? ? She replies, yes, because I won't go back to your place, even though maybe I wasn't invited, with a wink smiley at the end. She's teasing, and she's basically saying, even though I'm saying I don't want sex, I really want sex. And I'm hoping you're smart enough to figure out what that means and to handle things accordingly. And he says, because basically what she wants to do, a woman wants to be able to just show up and just have a good time, be swept off of her feet and be totally seduced. She's basically calling you because she misses you, she hasn't heard from you, and you've backed off like I told you to. And obviously now she's chasing you again, and so she wants to get together and hang out. But you showed up and you took on her little, because women bluff to test, and so she threw that out there, just being playful, and you grabbed it and thought she was really serious, or maybe she was serious. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because 90% of the time, you're the charming James Bond, and 10% of the time, you're the kid that flushes the M80 down the toilet and blows up the sewage pipes, and all the crap goes everywhere. So she says no sex, and you're thinking, we're having sex later. I know you want me deep inside you later. That's what you're telling me. Oh, that's not it. Because I got to get home. Or whatever. We'll see later when you've got your feet wrapped around your head and your feet are up like this around your head and you look like Bugs Bunny. But we'll see. So he says here, I go with, come on, you do whatever you feel like. 8 p.m. at X place is good. She agrees and we meet up later. By the way, her boyfriend and friends went to a concert, which she was invited to but decided to pass upon. How convenient. So we went the first part of the evening until 10 p.m. getting drinks. We saw her brother, who I hadn't met before. She seemed a little flustered since her brother knows her boyfriend really well. Yeah, well, you got to understand, blood's thicker than water, and he's going to look out for his little sister or his big sister, whatever she happens to be. Family comes first. Then we keep having a good time laughing and flirting, but she keeps saying, wow, I can't believe you met my bro, with a smile. So she likes that, obviously, that happened. And she's also seeing how you reacted to it. So she also mentioned several times that I was acting different, more distant. Translation, basically what she's saying is that you've changed your approach, and so I'm no longer sure of where I stand with you. And I've got a link in here to an article that I found about a year ago. It was a scientific study that proves women are attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. And so you've backed off and you've given her the space and you said, hey, give me a call when you're free or you want to get together. And so you stopped chasing her, which is what you were doing before, which was also what was causing you to not to get together with her. And so she likes it. In other words, she's saying, she's bringing it up because it's causing her to feel uncertain and unsure of where she stands. And at the end of the day, women love that because then she can go and flirt with her girlfriends and, gee, I don't know, what do you think it means, blah, 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 and talk about it all day at work, get herself all sexually wound up, and then she has to call you to get together to release the tension. So she's then asked, so is this your new strategy now? And then he answers back, wow, what strategy? And it's good because you're like, what are you talking about? What strategy? You play dumb. Like, I don't know what you mean. I mean, that's what a woman usually says. You play coy, and it's like you don't know what the hell she's talking about. Even though she recognizes that you're doing something different, but she really can't put her finger on it. He says, I told you to contact me when you were starting to miss me, silly girl. She took it well. It's a great comeback. Good job with that. Then we go to a restaurant up until 11:30 where it's good, lots of eye contact. We leave and end up making out for 45 minutes in various spots, very heated as per usual. We then take different subways home at midnight, and the night's done. She initiated the date, and we had a good time. Didn't kiss at the bar nor the restaurant, but lots of and very heated making out at the end before leaving. In fact, I would say it was one of the most heated makeout sessions in a while, short of sex, of course. But, here's the bottom line. You got sold, bro. On every date, you either sell her on why you should have sex, or she sells you on why you shouldn't. And you obviously got sold on why you shouldn't. And just because you held back, you were afraid you weren't going to get what you wanted. And so you weren't as direct, you weren't as confident, and you didn't break through her little BS barriers. It was all in playful fun. She was hoping you knew what she was really talking about, and you would just make things happen, but in a different way. Because women like mystery. And she doesn't want it to be the same thing every time she gets together, and so that's why she chose to do something different, to mix things up, shake things up a little bit, hoping that you'll figure it out. And obviously, you missed the test, so instead of getting a happy finish tonight from her, you get to give yourself a happy finish. So how's that blue balls treating you? So he says, my question to you is, what did she mean by no craziness? Of course. She meant craziness. In other words, she wanted sex. She wanted to sleep with you when she initiated the date. Is she taking the time to warm up to me again, or was it a test when she really did want to go back to my place? See? You kind of knew. You kind of figured, is she just saying that? But you weren't sure. And since you weren't sure, you held back and you didn't have sex. So I guess I don't understand why she ruled out sex from the start, because it was a test. Even though the night was just as flirtatious and as heated as those nights that we went back to my place, I can assure you that. I believe you. We haven't gone back to my place in 2 weeks, ever since her boyfriend found out. Maybe she's trying to refrain from sex with her lover until things get clearer in her mind. No, it's just that you need to let your balls drop back down, and next time she contacts you, even if she says, oh, we're not having sex tonight, in the back of your mind, it means we're having sex. And even tease her about it. She's, oh, whatever. I know you really want to have sex with me, but the good news is we didn't have it last time, so we're fucking 10 times as wound up, and we're going to fuck the shit out of each other later when we get together, babe. But in the meantime, we're going to have a good time. And so when you say things like that, and then you're just playful and you're having fun throughout the evening, she's thinking about sex later. And plus you're using sexual innuendo, because it's something that's going to happen later, and if she doesn't know exactly what's going to happen, where you're going to go, what you're going to do, what you're going to talk about, it's exciting, it's mysterious, it builds sexual tension, it builds anticipation for the big event later on. So he says, I don't know, man. Also, she knew that if she'd gone home with me, she would have gotten back to her place no earlier than 2 a.m. That's when her boyfriend would have been back already. That's my theory. The boyfriend obviously doesn't matter. She doesn't give a shit. He knows she's cheating on her, and they've basically talked about it, and she's admitted as much. But the bottom line, she doesn't care. She wants to have her cake and eat it too. She's living with him while she's fucking you. So just keep creating the next romantic opportunity for sex to happen, and keep in mind when she contacts you, it's because she wants you to seduce her. She's making it easy for you because she likes you, and then you don't have to deal with all the drama of her and her boyfriend and all that crap. You just say, I don't really care. Whatever is between you and him is between you and him. I just want to focus on having fun and having a good time together, and we'll just see where it goes. Just leave it at that. That's all you got to do. So if you find this message of value, you can show your appreciation by going down to the Wibbia toolbar, which is at the bottom of your screen if you're watching this video on my website. Click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information in this video. At the very least, please share this page with all your friends and family by clicking any one of the social network sharing buttons, which are also located in the Wibbia toolbar. And if you have a question that you'd like to ask me, or there's a topic that you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, click the Contact Me tab at the left-hand side of your screen and send me 3 or 4 paragraphs detailing your situation. And just give me several days to get back to you with a detailed response, because I get a lot of email from the internet and I have to take care of my paying phone coaching customers first. And if you'd like to talk to me right away and book a phone coaching session with me personally, click the Products tab at the top of your screen and just follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.